Hi, it's Gina. I'm going to be making a planner for 2024 using Graphic 45, their travel album. It has 3 notebooks inside. I will be using the collector's edition of Imagine and the sticker sheet. To begin with, I'm going to take out all 3 of these signatures. So then I'm going to cut my pattern paper. I'm going to cut 6 slotted pockets, 7/8 inch by 5 3/8. And this little section's 3/8 by 2 1/4 by 4 by 7. And then for my signature covers and the inside covers of the signatures, I cut my pattern paper by 4 8 1/8. I used Beautiful Dreamer, Up and Away, Futuristic Fantasy, and Create Yourself. For the front and back cover, should be this, and the spine, I used Futuristic Fantasy. I cut down to 4 5/8 by 8 5/8. And the spine, I cut it 1 5/8 by 7 3/8. Then I cut 2 squares for the inside pockets. I used Create Yourself, and these are 3 3/8 by 4 3/8. Then I cut 2 pieces of pattern paper from Create Yourself at 4 1/2 by 6 1/4. And that will go inside the pocket on this page. And then I'm going to use this cream colored cardstock that I cut at 4 1/2 by 7. I'm going to score it at 6 1/2. And this will be a little flap that will go on the inside front cover and on the back. Okay, we're going to grab one of our signatures. And we're going to grab 4 pieces of the signature pattern papers that we cut at 4 by 8 1/8. So we're going to need our corner rounder and some ink. I'm going to round my corners on all 4 sides. And I'm going to ink around the edges. I'm going to glue this down. And I'm going to open to the inside cover. I want to round this bottom corner here. I'm just going to lightly trace where my pocket's going to go. Then I'm going to cut about 2/8 in from where I marked. That way I just have some extra paper to use on another project. Then I'm going to clip the corners left. Then I'm going to go in and just erase where I marked. Then I'm going to ink both of these and my signature. Alright, so now we're going to glue in our pocket pattern paper. So we're just going to slide it in there, getting it lined up. Now we're going to grab our pocket pattern paper. Glue it right on top of our pocket. Burnish down. So now we're going to ink and clip corners on this pocket. So we're going to clip 3 of the corners. And we're going to stick it in our pocket. Trace our pocket. Stay within 2/8 of an inch inside the line you traced. Erase your pencil marking. Grab your ink and ink everything. Then I'm going to go ahead and ink the back too. So then I'm going to grab my back page, the back of my signature, and I'm going to clip all 4 corners. Then I'm going to ink that. So we're going to glue our pattern paper inside our pocket. Then we're going to glue our pattern paper over our pocket. When you get to that little 3/8 area, if you just skip putting glue right there, it makes your pocket just a little wider. You can put glue on the very edge here, and then where it will meet the pocket. And now the back page. Burnish it down. So there's our first signature. So we're going to do the same thing on the other 2. gonna clip all 4 corners. Okay, now we're gonna ink everything. I'm gonna use marine blue. Once you have all those inked, you're gonna glue them in. Make sure your books are the right direction. And that's our second signature. We're going to do the same on our third one. Okay, now that we have our 3 signatures dressed up a little bit, we're going to set these aside. We're going to grab our book base. I'm going to ink around all of mine. And on the inside. So we're going to start with the inside cover. We're going to grab one of our 4.5 by 6 1/4. We're going to round the top corner. Then we want to ink it. Then we want to grab one of our pockets that was 3 3/8 by 4 3/8. And we're going to clip the bottom corner. We want to ink that. Then we want to grab one of our 4.5 by 7" sheets that we scored at 6 1/2. We want to miter the corners just a little. And fold on the score line. I'm going to clip my corners. And this top corner also. And then I'm going to ink it. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my hinge. And I'm going to grab my pattern paper. My top 2 corners that I rounded, I'm going to line them up. And then push my hinge down so it's glued down to the pattern paper. So it looks like that. Then I'm going to put glue on the back of my pattern paper. I'm going to slide my pattern paper into my pocket, lining up my corners and the top. Then I'm going to burnish down. So now our inside cover looks like this. Okay, so then you're going to grab Castles in the Air, and we're going to cut out this little ephemera card here. Then you're going to grab a hole punch. I think this is 1/2 inch. You want to clip a couple little circles. Then you're going to need a couple little eyelets. Punch my hole. Then I'm going to take 2 of the little circles that I just punched. I'm going to eyeball the center and punch another hole. I'm going to grab some floss. And I want to ink around the edges. So I like to stick my string through the hole. And I grab my little eyelet and put my little circles on. And I hold the string and I put my eyelet through the hole on our ephemera card. And then I set it. And then from Adventured Beckons, I'm going to cut out this blue gear strip. And then I'm going to cut it in half. I want to ink the edges. So I'm going to round the corners on the bottom. Re-ink. Then just line up my clipped corners. Same thing on the other side. Then I'm going to take the ephemera card and I'm just going to put glue on 3 sides to create a pocket. That should leave a pocket up here. And then from the sticker sheet, I'm going to take the beautiful dreamer. I'm going to cut between the words. I'm going to put dreamer over here and beautiful over here. And then I'm going to put a butterfly sticker in between. Okay, so now grab your pocket piece we cut. And I'm going to line mine up. And then I'm going to mark where I want to put my closure. Probably about 1 inch up from the bottom. Punch my hole. going to put my little eyelet through my little circles and then through my pocket. Then I'm going to set it. So I'm going to apply glue. Now I'm not going to cut out that, so I am just going to put a little glue around it so that I make sure that my paper stuck down real well right there. Then I'm going to trim my string. So for my last inside page, we're gonna need our pocket cover, our page that'll slide in the pocket, and I've already clipped my corner and inked. I clipped my bottom corner and inked. I'm gonna pull this out for now. And I have decided not to put this flap on this pocket back here because I found this little notebook and it slides right in the pocket. So that way I can rip out pages with things I need to get done each week. All right, so we need to slide this in the pocket with no glue on the back because we need to poke our hole where our string goes through. So just feel around. I have a Pearson tool. So I know that that's where my string will go. So I'm going to glue that in. So slide it in your pocket. Lining it up. Check your hole. And then burnish down. So then grab your pattern paper that will cover your pocket and glue that down. Remember, if you're not going to clip your little pole thing, then put glue around it so your paper glues real well to it. Burnish down. So now we're going to go to the back of our book. We're going to grab our 4 5/8 by 8 5/8 covers we cut. So on this one, you're going to line it up on there. And you're going to hold it firmly, find the hole and poke it. I've already clipped the 2 corners and inked it. Find your hole, and then take a regular paper punch and punch it out. Apply glue. You want to line it up. I usually just push mine around the little brad that's in the book. Then burnish it down real well. So now you can grab your string that we took out of the book and put it back through the hole. Then we want to go to the front cover, and you need to decide what kind of closure, like what you're going to have on the front. Do you want your band to go around? Or you can use like a brad or a button and have it clip on that, which is what I'm going to do. Just kind of mark where I think I want my button. I'm going to go about inch in. going to put my brad through. Open it. So now I'm going to put glue on the back and glue it to my front cover. And burnish down. So then I'm going to take my spine piece and I'm going to apply glue. You don't have to, but I decided to cut 2 little pieces to put at the very top and bottom. So now I'm just going to put my signatures back in. Closure is too big. I'm just going to tie the knot smaller. And as it grows with notes and papers, I can make it a little larger. We need to make a tag for our pocket. I cut this from the paper collection. I'm going to slide that in there. Cut a piece of cream colored cardstock because I want to be able to write on mine. 3 inches by 8 inches. I rounded the corners, and then you want to ink it. And then I'm just going to use a stencil and lightly just add a little bit of color to it. That way I can still write over it. Then I'm going to grab my sticker sheet and I'm going to choose 2 butterflies. Line them up. And that's also going to go in the pocket. So then I have this little fly charm that I'm going to tie onto the end of the string. And that'll just go as a decoration on my closure. I'm going to grab these 2 stickers from the sticker sheet. And I'm going to grab a piece of cream colored cardstock that is 3 by 5.5, and I rounded the corners. I'm just going to ink around it. And I'm going to grab the stickers, Achieve. And I'm just going to line it up on top. Then I'm going to grab Believe. And I'm just going to stick them on top of each other, sandwiching a little bit of the tag. I'm just going to ink it a little bit. Do a little stenciling. And that will slide right in the little pocket we made. Alright, then I'm going to open up my first signature. I'm going to grab a cream colored cardstock that I cut down to 6.5 by 8. And on the 6 1/2 side, I scored at 3 1/4. Then I'm going to ink it. And I'm going to use the stencil on it. I'm also going to use the stencil a little on the inside. So then I'm going to grab some of my scraps of paper and this ephemera card. I'm going to ink around it. I'm just going to mark how long I need this. And then I'm just going to rip it. Just ripping however much you feel like. Then I'm going to ink that. Then I'm going to take my other piece of scrap. I'm just going to rip it some. I'm going to ink those. Then I'm going to grab my glue. And I'm going to put glue along where the label is. And I'm just going to stick it to the back of my little ephemera card. I'm going to put glue on the back of my other 2 pieces of paper I ripped. And glue that down. Then I'm just going to trim this out. Then I'm going to ink around it. These little words here, I'm going to take imagine and believe. I'm going to put believe right here. And I'm going to turn it over and put imagine on the other side. So it's a little pull tab. And then that will slide right in the little pocket we made. So that's going to go in our slotted pocket. So we're going to grab a piece of our scrap and cut a piece to 3 1/4 by 6 inches. Then we're going to grab some ink. We're going to ink that. Then we're going to grab one of our ephemera cards from the paper. And I put some double-sided tape on the back of mine on one side because I'm going to add some lace. So I just add lace to that side. And then I cut a piece of graphic 45 chipboard, just slightly smaller than my ephemera card. And I want to glue my ephemera card onto it. Just making sure to center my chipboard. And I am going to burnish down. And that's going to go on top of our piece of pattern paper. And then I cut this from the paper. I fussy cut it out. And I added the numbers 2024. And then I put a little bit of chipboard on the back. So on the back of our chipboard, I'm going to add some glue. And then I'm going to center it on my piece of pattern paper. And that is going to go there. And then I have some little gears. And I fussy cut this out of the paper. I'm going to lightly burnish down. Then I'm going to add this on. Okay, then I'm going to take my 2024 and some hot glue. I'm just going to kind of center that where I want it. Then I'm going to grab my gears, apply some glue. Then I'm going to stick it down. I'm going to trim this balloon down a little. I'm going to put a little glue on the back. That way he's kind of down there under the gears. So then I have these beaded pins. I'm just going to put some glue here. And one other pin. Then I have a handmade flower. I'm just going to put a glob of glue on the back. And I fussy cut out a butterfly. I have some Graphic 45 matte pearl gems. And I'm just going to add some to my gears. And then I have one last butterfly that I'm going to add right down here. So my butterfly's dry. Then we're going to go back to that little tag we made. I made 7 of these tags to put in those slotted pockets. And they just slide right in. And then I have some just ephemera that I'm going to just clip in on my planner. Then I have a couple charms on safety pins. And I'm going to put the charms hanging down from the spine.